are now plugged into Hooked on Science with Bruce and Tony Khan.
What up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Hooked on Sonics. This week, we have a fantastic show for you. I am one of your two hosts. I'm Bruce. Over there is the Tone Capone, not to be confused with any other famous rock, rap, country rock stars that might be out there. Tony, how are you?
Been my nickname since I was a kid, dude. So, just kind of stuck for the stage name thing. No disrespect to anybody else using it. I'm not the only Tone Capone in the world. With that being said, good evening.
Good evening.
And welcome to, I believe this is now the 40th edition.
40th episode?
40th episode of Hooked on Sonics.
Wow.
We're closing in on that 50th episode soon.
How about that? Yeah. And we've got a couple really interesting albums this week. This week, it's the week of supergroups. We've got Them Crooked Vultures, the supergroup with Dave Grohl, Josh Homme from Queens of the Stone Age, Caius, and John Paul Jones, the phenomenal bass player from Led Zeppelin. And we've got the baddest MFers this side of, well, their side of the Mississippi too, since they're out West Coast. Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, E40, and Too Short for Mount Westmore. So yep. Really exciting. Really going to be a cool show.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Bruce, what have you been listening to this week, man?
Well, I mistakenly spent most of my Saturday on a pretty cool journey. I watched the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony on Disney Plus. A lot of really cool people were inducted. Let me pull that up because there was like 15 people, I think, inducted. So some of the inductees were Sheryl Crow, Kate Bush, Missy Elliott, George Michael, Willie Nelson, Rage Against the Machine, and the Spinners. Under the Musical Influence Award, DJ Kool Herc, Link Ray. I don't know if you've ever heard of Link Ray.
Link Ray and his Rayman.
Yeah.
I know who that is.
There you go.
Get off me, man. Don't act like I don't. Don't act like don't even touch me there.
Don't touch me there. Chaka Khan, Al Cooper, Bernie Taupin, and the legendary Don Cornelius got the Ahmet Ertegun Award. I didn't expect this the show to go super long. I figured maybe 2-3 hours. This thing was every bit of 5 hours.
It's an all-day event,
dude. It was crazy.
It's an all-day event. If you've never been to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame itself, and you go up there, there's a room where they kind of air those events after these things have happened.
Yeah.
And man, you could be in there all day watching the behind the scenes, what went down, how it went down. I mean, there's all kinds of cool stuff up there, man. Like it's bittersweet for me when it comes to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Like, I love going there. I love the fact that it's in Cleveland, so it's close to us. We can get there in about an hour and a half, 2 hours. And it's a good, fun day event. You know, spend the day in Cleveland, go see that, go have a few bites to eat and stuff, man. But dude, I don't understand the whole induction process, because there's just bands, I guess, that have been eligible for eons, but just don't get recognized. And it's like, I understand they do them in waves and stuff and whatnot, man, but it's just it blows my mind. It blows my mind. And it doesn't bother me on a personal level that, there are hip hop artists or country artists or other artists that are, really represent other realms of music inducted into the Rock and Roll Fame. I mean, that's not annoying to me at all. Okay. But what does bother me is this induction process. You know, you'll hear every year this group, this group, this group, this group, this group, this group's eligible, but only this group, this group, this group got inducted.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it's almost like we know you're eligible, but we're not going to induct you this year for some fucking reason. And that's pretty shitty, dude. That's like it seems I don't even know what I would coin that as, man. It just seems shitty, And and
It's
and and
politics.
and it's the stain. It is the stain on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Do you know
Yep.
what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
clearly a stain on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Now, I'm not ever going to tell you not to go. Have you ever been?
No.
Oh, Bruce, you've never been to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Nope.
Why don't we make a day where you come up and me and Katie take you up to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
We just might have to make a day trip.
Let's do that, man. It's a
Yeah.
blast, and it changes all the time. So at the top of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, there's the major room that they change out a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we went, the one time I can remember very well, there was a whole Grateful Dead situation up top. Like
Very cool.
it was so sick, so sick, and you'll see a lot of really cool stuff, man. I think you'll get a big kick out of that, man.
Oh, I'm absolutely would.
Yeah,
Absolutely would. Yep.
there's just a lot. Like I remember, like the thing that touched me most. Okay, and I saw a lot of things, and I don't mean to drag on, and I know how I do this, and I apologize, but I remember the first time that I went, and like Katie and I were kind of standing beside each other, and I had to pause because I was looking at the telegram that was sent from or to Sid Vicious's mom regarding him passing away. And it just
Mm.
fucking hit me like a ton of fucking bricks, man. Like, whoa, just fucking
Yeah.
whoa. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, Sid wasn't a great bass player.
Mm.
Let's call it what it is. But he is definitely he was the definition of punk, dude. He was a punk in every sense of the fucking word, dude. So I don't know.
Yeah.
You got like, yeah, dude. If you want to do that sometime, let's make that happen. Speaking of which, in
Yeah.
that area up there, the Christmas Story house sold again. So
that thing must be haunted. That thing's been sold 3 or 4 times.
people just probably don't want to deal with it, dude. I mean, can you imagine having to maintain that shit, make sure somebody don't come in and steal something or break something?
Dude, imagine being one of the fucking neighbors.
Oh, dude, it's
Fuck.
hilarious. I can see how annoying it would be.
I would move away. I would move away from my house.
Have you ever been up there?
No.
We did. We visited the gift shop, took a
Yeah.
picture of the house, but dude, I was in and out of there, and I could see how that would be really because this gift shop's right across the street from the fucking house,
Yeah.
and it's a huge debacle, dude. It is a huge fucking gift shop.
I
Like
would
they got
move from my house from November 1st until January 10th, just to make sure.
yeah,
I'd
hey,
VRBO it.
Verbo it,
Yeah.
yeah,
That too. I'm
cool,
with the times.
cool. Sorry to ramble on, but that
Yes.
yeah,
No,
just
you're fine.
Cleveland, Ohio, cool stuff to see and do. Obviously, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yep.
And us being Ohio boys, we're pretty familiar with that kind of stuff. So
Absolutely. A couple key performances. Cheryl Crow really stole the night. She played, um, she played for her own, induction thing. She got on stage with Willie Nelson, a few other people too. Um, Stevie Nicks came on to sing with Cheryl Crow, and it was totally not needed. Like
really,
it was not needed at all. It was like, "Hey, Cheryl, I'm here too, buddy," and it was weird. All she did was sing background on Every Day's a Winding Road, I think. And I was
I-
like, ugh. But Peter Frampton came on stage and played some really cool lead licks for her set, and that was really cool to see.
nice.
Um, Missy Elliott put on a fantastic visual performance,
Did
but
she get inducted?
yeah, she got inducted.
Dude, if I remember seeing her as of late, she looks really, really good considering
Yeah,
A, her age, B, I mean, Missy was, a pretty thick girl back in the day, but she looks like she's really been taking really good care of herself.
yep.
She looks absolutely amazing. I would just like to say that. And I've always admired her as a musician because she wrote some pretty catchy stuff and some really cool grooves, man. I'll never forget the
Yeah,
the
that little suit.
her videos and the suit, man. Just she was money, dude.
Yeah.
She was cool as shit, man.
Oh yeah. Queen Latifah actually inducted her, and
Nice.
I thought that was kind of shitty. Like Queen Latifah should be in there before Missy. Queen Latifah was a
Mm.
pioneer.
Is the queen not in?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
That's strange, dude. But see, that's that stuff.
Yep.
That's that stuff,
Yep.
dude.
Yep. Willie Nelson. That
But
was cool to see.
but does, let's say this though.
Hmm.
And isn't there certain criteria that has to be met in order to make the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Like, is there a number of albums that need to be sold? Because maybe Queen Latifah never saw that kind of popularity like Missy's album did.
I don't think it's that static. You're eligible once I think it's 30 years from the release of your first album.
Interesting.
Yep. I think it's 30 years. Rage Against the Machine. Unfortunately, they couldn't get their shit together. Uh, the only person that showed up to
Was
accept
Morello.
yeah,
Yeah,
um,
I saw the speech he did.
yeah. I don't agree with all of his stuff, but it was cool to see him, and they are obviously a very, very fucking worthy band to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I think.
I agree.
Um, let's see. That's really about it. When the Spinners came out and did their thing, they they busted out the set of Soul Train, and then
Nice.
that morphed into Don Cornelius's induction. That was really cool to see. So, all in all, I really encourage any of you guys to check that out, even if it's in bits and pieces, because the performances on there were really good, and the presentation packages that they put together for each artist, really good. Really summed up everyone's career.
I love seeing legends share stages together because like
Yeah,
one of the greatest things I could think of, um, and I don't know if this was a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction. I could be completely off. That time that fucking Tom Petty and I know Petty was on stage. I want to say it was possibly
right.
all of the Yardbirds and fucking Prince come out and laid that fucking solo down and just murdered.
That was for the
Prince.
George Harrison memorial show.
Yeah, dude, that was
While my guitar gently weeps.
oh my God, that is one of the greatest pieces
Yep.
ever recorded.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Real quick before I forget on that, Link Ray, um, rockabilly icon, um, he was inducted, and Jimmy Page and Anton Fig on drums played Rumble.
Nuh-uh.
Yes.
I've got to
So
see that.
you gotta see that. It's
I've
really
got to
cool.
see that, dude.
Yeah. So that's what I was listening to.
Nice, man. Nice.
What about you?
I've been listening to a lot of The Well lately, man. I knew my t-shirt's finally coming in the mail. I ordered from them not too long ago. Looking forward to wearing that. It should be here by Friday. Maybe I'll wear it on the next show. You never know.
Yeah.
But the uh what else was I listening to this week? Oh, Sonic Flower. I was jamming that whole discography from Sonic Flower. Just kind of,
How many
dude,
albums do they got?
I think three.
Okay.
maybe 4, dude. But
I know I've heard the first 2.
I love them, dude.
Yeah, they're solid.
I fucking love them. They're you could put that on and just go about your business and just let it spin, man. That's what I love about the sound.
Yeah, they're solid. Yeah.
Who else was I listening to this week? I know I was listening to something off the wall this week, man. I wanted to mention it. Who was I listening to before? Oh, that sucks, dude. I can't fucking think of it, man. There was something I was listening to. As a matter of fact, probably might have been earlier today. Uh, um, ooh, that ticks me off. I can't remember that. I just because I know it was good. Oh, Stray Cats. I was listening to Stray Cats today.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I was listening to Stray Cats. I almost bought their greatest hits when I was out at the bookstore the other day, and I was like, no, I probably better not. I know I have some Stray Cat stuff, and was like looking through my stuff and noticed that I have it digitally, so I don't need the CD. So
yeah.
But yeah, that's been about it for me, man. Just and then the album that you dumped on me which was pretty cool. So
cool.
We'll get into that review here in a minute. We drinking today?
Well, sir, let me tell you, I am drinking some of Texas's finest vodka, Tito's, with cranberry juice. I know that's typically a female drink when you're going to a bar and I'd like a vodka and cranberry. But you know what? It just sounded good. So here it is. I made it pretty strong too.
I don't like vodka.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Mm.
Mm-mm.
I love me some good Tito's. I got this one alien head one for I think it's Outer Space or something. It's really good too.
Nice. So, what are you going to rate the Tito's?
Tito's is going to be a 5 for me. It's
really?
smooth. It's great. I really like.
I hear
it
is a good one, and I'm just not a vodka fan, man.
Yep.
I don't mind if it's in a mixed drink, but I don't seek it out to drink straight up. It tastes like rubbing fucking alcohol to me, dude.
My dad used to drink vodka just straight.
I can't do it.
Like, I'm like, buddy,
I can't do it. My drummer,
yeah.
my drummer's like that.
My sister Bridget was like that too.
I can't do it, son. I can't do it. Like I just can't do it.
Can't do it. So let me guess, you are not drinking vodka tonight.
I am not drinking vodka tonight. However, I went through the drive-through to pick up something for my dad the other day, and I happened to notice something sitting on the shelf, and I was like, well, I like that brand. And if anybody knows me, I love Arizona green tea. I think we've had this discussion on the air before. As a matter of fact, when I come off of stage from doing shows, I want an Arizona when I get off stage. That's all I ask for. You know, that's one of that and medication. But I am checking out the Arizona hard green tea with honey. And we'll take another little sip of this. I took a small sip earlier. Let me get a good sip of this. This is very smooth, but it tastes just slightly weird. Like tasting it going down, it tastes like Arizona green tea, but the aftertaste of the alcohol kind of doesn't sit well with me. It's a little comfortable. You know, it's kind of like the twisted teas, something along those lines. But in all honesty, I could drink this. I just wonder what the damn sugar content is being diabetic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can drink a little bit. You can drink a little.
What am I going to give this?
What are you going to give that, Tony?
$4.25.
Okay, there you go.
Not quite a 5, but I mean, if I seen it at a party and there was nothing else, I'm not saying it would be my last choice or my first choice. It's a decent choice.
Very cool.
Yep.
So,
drinks are done. We are here and alive tonight at Hooked on Sonics, sucker.
Sucker.
Cool. Hey, I do want to show you something really cool, man.
Yeah,
I don't know if I got to show this on the air before, but do you see that?
I do. It's a guitar pick.
Do you know who that's from?
Hmm. You tell us, Tony. I don't want to ruin the
All right,
surprise.
not a problem. Matthias Njord
Yeah, that's not what I was going to say.
from Fire Breather.
Huh. Very
My,
cool.
my guitar player picked this up at the last show, and he actually gifted this to me. He said, "Here, man, I got this for you." And he knows how much I respect that band, dude. They're
Very
so
cool.
fucking sick, dude. But yeah,
Sweet.
pretty cool.
Sweet.
Little memorabilia.
Sweet. All right. You ready for some news?
Yeah, let's do
Over at
some.
your official news desk over there.
Do you want me to take care of it?
Yeah, take care of your part, and I got a little bit, and
Cool, cool. First thing I want to mention is King Diamond put out an album, or not an album, but a video for Masquerade of Madness, or I believe it was. Pretty cool video. Probably should get to check that out. I guess that comes off of, I want to say maybe a 2019 album release. I do believe he is working on a new album. Don't quote me on that part.
don't quote me, boy, because I ain't said shit.
Kerry King, once again, we've heard this for a year or two now. I want to say he's got a new project in the works, but hopefully we're looking at possibly something around 2024. Don't know what is going to happen. Hence at a debut of 2024 new project. He says, um, big news. Slipknot and their drummer. Jay Weinberg, I believe it is, have
Yep.
parted ways, and this has been a huge ripple across my internet feed on social media and stuff. So,
What's
what
weird
else?
about that is they put that up there, on their official site, and they took it right down. I don't know, a couple hours later, and then it's kind of been radio silent since then. So I don't know what's actually going on, but um, I don't know. I don't know if they're trying to change their mind or they just said, "Yeah, that's enough." I don't know.
Yeah,
So
uh,
that might be a to be continued.
Blackie said they're well into the writing process on a new album from there. Um, uh, man, just oh, other big things that happened, and I don't know if you caught this, but I got to listen to it. The Beatles' new single was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Um, really, really, really cool. Even if it's AI generated, I still think it's pretty cool.
it is not AI generated.
They
If you go on to Disney Plus, they've got the actual music video for it and a little mini documentary on how that came together.
nice. I have to check that in. But I thought that
Yeah,
was really, really cool. I was more of an Elvis uh Stones fan probably around that time frame, more so than um um fuck. We were just sitting here talking about it. I'm spaced out tonight, man. I've got a lot on my
you weren't
mind.
quite a Beatles fan then.
Yeah, not as big a Beatle fan, but I do like the Beatles stuff. And it's funny because I'm going to get into a small discussion about that here in a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, other than that, man, um, there's a there was another release I want to say that I heard that was pretty good, and I can't think of what it is right offhand. Um, I had stuff written down for the show, but not in regards to
Oh, you
that.
mean Shooter Jennings' new album, a tribute to Warren Zevon, Werewolves of Hollywood?
I have not, but that sounds like an interesting album.
It's pretty cool. It's a live. It was a live. It's a live album. Just got released on Friday. Also, you know what comes out this Friday?
What's that?
Dolly's Rockstar album
Nice. You gonna pick
comes
that
out
up?
this Friday. Oh, of course I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me know how it is. I'll be checking most of it out on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a lot of country in my or rock
Repertoire. Well,
repertoire.
this is rock. So
I get it. I get it.
yeah.
I'm sure Katie will want to hear it too. So
No, of course. You know who else is going to release an album in 2024? That guy right there,
Gene
Ace
or A oh
Ace
yeah, Ace
Frehley.
Ace's new album, 100,000 volts, was it?
10,000 volts, I
10,000
think.
volts. Yeah.
Yep. Singles coming up here real soon. Um, the drummer, Joey Casada, um, the guitarist for Trickster, helped co-write and play on this album as well. Um, Rock journalist Mitch LaFon, they're all three of them are saying this is an absolutely fantastic album that they've heard. So we'll see.
Yeah, man, but let's be honest. Let's listen. It can sound great, but how much of it is from the mastermind instead of being created by a bunch of session players and starring Ace?
Right. And again, for me, for Ace at this point in his career, if I get some good solos, I'm good. I'm good. He's never been a great singer. I like his voice. Um,
I like his
so
voice too.
yeah, but
It's
I'm
sad.
excited.
I'm not glad to be with you today.
Hey, I'm so spacey.
I love him, man. He's out. He's, but I have my worries, and these last few albums were not hits for me. I didn't like Space Invader.
I like it.
I didn't like the Origin stuff.
Oh, I like it. I like it. There's some turds on it, but in general, I like both those albums. So, you got any more news?
What's your all-time favorite Ace song?
Oh, a song.
Yep.
Uh, God bless. I know. Podcast gold here. Fucking radio silence. Um,
Come on, man.
I'm just gonna say
He's only got so many. Come on, your
no.
all-time favorite Ace song.
He's got so many fucking great. I'm just gonna say Shock Me right now, but my God, anything off of Dynasty, anything off Unmasked, Speeding Back to My Baby. Fuck, I love that song. Dark Light, I love that song.
Mine will always be Back in the New York Groove.
That's a good song.
I think Ace was just shining out on that damn song, dude.
Yeah.
I think he really was, and I love it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they ever did a video for it, but I could see Ace
Nope.
roaming around New York City, wild as shit as he is. Yeah.
Oh, where are we at? Yeah. Oh shit.
Indeed, indeed. Well, with that being said, I think that's the news, and
Sweet.
we can move on to these album reviews.
Okay. Well, real quick. This day in music history in 2016, Leonard Cohen passed away. Did you know he was actually ordained as a Buddhist monk?
Really?
Yeah,
That's
I didn't
interesting
know
to
that.
know.
That's sir. The Titanic soundtrack was released today in 1997.
My heart will go on.
Yeah, where Rose essentially committed murder to save her own skin, but that's for another show. Alice in Chains' debut self-titled album came out today in 1995.
Nice.
It was only released on vinyl originally.
Really?
Yep. And then Pink Floyd's Ummagumma was released today in 1969.
Early album.
Yep. Astronomy Domini and Careful with That Axe, Eugene.
Yep.
So
still, that's Sid material.
Yeah, that's all Sid. Yep. Before we get into this week's episode, we did have a couple of listeners reach out to us and give us their deceased, gone but not forgotten rock star bands. Let's see.
Really?
Yeah, I got them right here.
And who are these individuals?
Let's see. The first gentleman is Mike Smith, listener. Let's see. On drums, he had Taylor Hawkins. Taylor should have been on my list, and I looked at it again, and I didn't put him on there. Shame on me. Leon Wilkinson, the bass player for Lynyrd Skynyrd, was on there. Mick Ronson on guitar. And let's see, he didn't give a rhythm guitar. For lead vocals, he said Tiny Tim. And he said, just kidding. Mark Langen. Langen? I don't know who Mark Langen is. So
What's the
my
how do you spell the spelling?
Lanegan. Maybe it's Lanigan.
Mark Lanigan. He was oh wow, okay. First becoming prominent as lead singer for the early grunge band Screaming Trees, is also known as a member of the Queens of the Stone Age.
Huh. See?
All of the connections.
Yeah. Let's see. Listener friend of the show, Jason Ratliff, he picked Neil Peart on drums.
He should have been on everybody's list.
Fuck yeah.
He should have been on everybody's list. Let's be honest. I don't know why that didn't come out of anybody's mouth, but that should have flew out of somebody's mouth.
Yeah. Oh, wait till you hear a couple of these other ones. Chris Squire. I don't know who Chris Squire is on bass.
Let's find out.
Yeah.
Just a real quick look for Chris Squire. English musician. Give me a second here. English musician, vocalist of the Oh man, that's a hell of a fucking pick. He was with Yes.
Oh. I'm telling you, if we don't do this fucking next year, I swear. Okay, rhythm guitar. Tom fucking Petty.
That's a solid pick at rhythm.
Fuck. Yeah.
That's a solid pick at rhythm. I had Tom in my lineup, but I didn't use him.
Yep. Lead guitar, Frank Zappa.
Good choice. Very, very good choice.
Yep.
Probably should have been on a few other people's lists, but I don't know too many other than Vinny, original bass player for Suspect Earth, was a big Zappa fan. I don't know too many Zappa fans.
I like some of his stuff for sure. A lot of it's just so I haven't followed it enough to where I couldn't name you but a couple songs, but I really enjoy a lot of his stuff.
I need to deep dive his stuff.
Yeah.
I need to deep dive his stuff.
Tons of stuff out there. Tons of shit.
I'm sure.
And then as lead singer, David Bowie.
Man, that's a good pick too.
Dude,
you know what sucks is I didn't go beyond like 2010.
Yeah.
Or in my search, because I didn't know. I should have known some of these names. I'm like, and some of those names really should have made my list.
Yeah.
But
completely agree.
I had to create two lists with backup, with an original list and backup for that list in each position.
You still didn't pick them.
What do you mean?
You had double the chance. You had double the chance to take them.
Oh no, dude! Dude, I had a lot of people on my list, bud. Mm-hmm. Like a lot. Do you still have your list?
Yeah.
So just real quick, just a real quick rundown of what I had on my list. We'll start with drums. I had Keith Moon, Tiki Fullwood, John Bonham, Eric Carr, Jerry Nolan from the New York Dolls, Ingo Schwarzenberg from Halloween, Cozy Powell, Randy Castillo, Frankie Benali, Sean Reiner.
Frankie Benali still. Oh no, Frankie. Yeah,
Frankie just passed, dude.
Yep.
Don't get me started. He's the last surviving member of fucking.
Nope, you're right.
Wyatt Riot.
Let's see. For drummers, I had Charlie Watts, Eric Carr, Keith Moon, and Ginger Baker.
Oh yeah, your list was shorter than mine by far.
Yeah. No, I kept mine pretty short just because.
On bass, I had John Glasscock from Jethro Tull, Phil Lynott, Lemmy, Cliff Burton, Rob Graves from 45 Grave, Roger Pattinson from Atheist, Philip Taylor Kramer from Iron Butterfly, John Entwistle, Noel Redding from Jimi Hendrix, and Rick James. Who'd you have on bass?
Dusty Hill, Cliff Burton, Phil Lynott, Lemmy, and Jack Bruce.
All good picks as well. And then we're moving over to rhythm guitar. I had Sister Rosetta Tharpe, Tom Petty, Tom Fogerty, Johnny Thunders, Jerry Garcia, Chuck Schuldiner, and Chris Cornell.
Yeah.
Who'd you have on rhythm?
Let's see. Oh, no, that ain't it. I don't remember. Okay. John Lennon and Malcolm Young and a couple other people. I just don't have that in front of me.
Okay. Then on guitar, I had Jimi Hendrix, Mark Bolan from T-Rex, Randy Rhoads, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Prince, Eddie Hazel from Parliament, Dimebag, and Eddie Van Halen.
Mm-hmm. I had Jeff Beck, Leslie West, Gary Rossington, Dimebag, Jimmy, and Stevie.
Nice. And then on vocals, I had Janis Joplin, Jim Croce, Bon Scott, Bob Marley, John Belushi, David Byron from Uriah Heep, Freddie Mercury, Michael Hutchins, and Meatloaf.
Okay. I had Janis, Freddie, Jim Morrison, Chris Cornell, and Ronnie Van Zant.
All good picks. Dude, there's plenty of it out there to create a great group. And I really want to say thank you to the guys that really chimed in and messaged that. That's what we want. Thank you so much. And your picks were excellent picks. Great job. Thank you so much.
Right on. Absolutely.
All right, let's get into these reviews, man. We've been bullshitting a lot.
Yeah.
Let's be bullshitting a lot. Who's going first?
You go first.
Oh, you always trying to shaft me
I just
first.
got done talking. I'll do it.
I know, that's fine. I got it. I got it.
Fine.
Fuck it. I'll do it live. All right. So this evening, for my review, Bruce handed me Them Crooked Vultures. This is a supergroup made up of Josh Homme from Caius and Queens of the Stone Age, John Paul Jones of Led Zeppelin fame, and Dave Grohl. To say that this album isn't packed with some of the best musician in its field for only being a three-piece, you would be out of your damn mind. These guys know their instruments and the way to play their music inside and out. Now, with that being said, this album came out probably, I want to say, towards the end of a really weird roundabout way of possibly like a last dying gasp of alternative music that sounds like this. I really missed the bus on this stuff, but there was a person in my life at one point in time that this was probably right up their alley. You know what I mean? And I respect every musician on the album. I like some of the other projects and bands that they've were obviously with, but this album is a bit of an emotional roller coaster. For me, it was. And when I say that, because there were really good aspects of it, and then there were really bad aspects of it. And let me just clear the air on that real quick. You have these great musicians that obviously know their instruments very well, and they know how to write a song very, very well, obviously. But during some of the transitioning of the songs, there was so much different changeover, so many different styles that were coming through, that when the transitions were happening, they were either smooth or they were pretty freaking hard. It was just like, wow, that's a tough transition to make. You're sitting there grooving into it, and then all of a sudden it goes into something, then it goes into something else. It's just like, throughout a lot of the stuff, I couldn't really get comfortable with the music because it was in one good zone, and then it went off on something else. And I'm going to get into that. Okay. So let me go down the track listing that I wrote for the most part. No One Loves Me and Neither Do I. This was a pretty,
I love that title.
I love the title. All the titles on this album are pretty cool. But this song is a pretty good opener. It's a pretty good opener. And what I would rate this song on its own is pretty much what I'm going to rate the whole album. New Fang. It was groovy.
Yeah.
Not memorable. Elephants. This really picks up the pace in this area, and the intro gets groovy and then almost spacey. And there's like a David Bowie grooviness here. Speaking of all this stuff, these guys that we just recently brought up. There's a really, really David Bowie style part of some of these tracks on this album. And there's so much other stuff. I'm going to get into this. Scumbag Blues. it's an all right song. Not my favorite on the album. Bandoliers. Uh, this was a bit of a standout track, but unfortunately, the reason why it was a standout is towards the end. There's these huge drums that Dave lays down, and it's just an absolute masterpiece. But you've got to kind of gut this song out to get to that point,
Yeah.
and it's just like, fuck, man, like, really? And it's no disrespect to the album. There was so many different variations and changes and styles and influences that it was hard to get a grasp on some of the transitions that made it really hard to go, okay, that's a hard transition for me, and don't get me wrong, I'm used to albums with hard transition. I mean, let's take a look at the boys that are on the shirt tonight,
Yeah.
Polka Dot Cadaver and stuff, but this was really, oh man, it was just there were points that were hard to really go, really, why would you take the music in that direction? And it's your music, but it's just, I didn't really get hip to it. It felt like that era of alternative music that I didn't really get my claws into, and I didn't have a really major appreciation for it. There are really elements of Queens of the Stone Age here, obviously some Nirvana feel, obviously, influence from Led Zeppelin. There's a Doors feel on this album. When I think you said John Paul Jones plays all the other instruments, there's an organ on here
Mhm.
somewhere, dude. And that
Yeah.
song reminds me of a Doors song. And I'm just like, I can't do it, dude. I can't do it because I'm not a Doors fan, man. I'm not a dude. I'm not a Doors fan. And it's that organ, dude. And listen, that organ could probably be used in any other version of music and it would be fine by me. But for some reason in rock, hard rock, or even metal, unless it's some freaking creepy metal, I can't do it, dude. I can't do the organ. It reminds me of the Doors, and that's one of the things I really didn't like about the Doors sound. But that's me personal, It's no
Yeah.
disrespect to what they did for music. It's no disrespect to people who love them. It's just not for me. So, um, let's see. Somewhat felt psychedelic in parts. Interlude with Ludes, Warsaw. Oh, so Warsaw was the standout track on this album for me, and it's the one with the really freaking longest ass title. But it had a bit of a Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club feel to it, and
Yes.
in a certain aspect of it, and I thought that was really, 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 really cool. So back
Mhm.
again, we talk about the Beatles thing and Beatles
Mhm.
influence and stuff and whatnot. Gunman was very groovy. There was that Bowie thing again. And the last track was pretty groovy as well. So all in all, I would say just the repeated thing was there were points on this album that were really, really groovy, but then there were points in this album where the transitions were just not to my liking. So the musicianship's phenomenal. The production on the album, phenomenal. Um, Vocals, I don't really have a problem with. I'm used to Josh Holmes style of vocals. Um, just because of the elements, and I really couldn't grab onto this album, man. And I even listened to half of it twice. Um, because I listened to half of it twice, I did give it just a small bump, just a very small bump in scale. So I'm gonna have to give them Crooked Vultures a 7.50. They're not quite an 8. This is an average album to me, but it's just not one of those albums I'm gonna go back and listen to, man. We've had
Yeah.
that discussion before. If it's an 8, I'll go check out a little more from the band. But
Yeah.
like this is not, if it's a 9, I'm definitely going to be deep diving on that band. If it's a 10, then it's going to stay in my rotation. This is just not that album for me, but it is a good album. If alternative style music of like Queens of the Stone Age, Butthole Surfers, and stuff like that is up your alley, I would definitely give this album a listen. This may be a bigger rated album for you.
Cool.
7.5.
All right. Them Crooked Vultures self-titled album was released November 16th, 2009. There were 3 singles released off this: New Fang, Mind Eraser, No Chaser, and Dead End Friends. New Fang won a Grammy for Best Hard Rock Performance.
Interesting.
The one that you said was not catchy at all.
Mm,
Yeah, you said it wasn't very catchy. You didn't like it.
no, I said it was groovy, but it wasn't.
Yeah,
It wasn't a standout track.
Yep. So, to your point, where this album started off with "No One Loves Me" and "Neither Do I." My favorite part of that song was probably the title. The first two songs, I, I was like, ugh, it wasn't great. Like they weren't immediate skips for me, but I'm like, okay. And then I got to thinking, I'm like, man, am I misremembering this album? Because I remember when this album first came out, I was super hyped about that super group with Dave Grohl and John Paul Jones, and I didn't really know anything about Queens of the Stone Age or Josh or Caius or anything. So those two I was like, okay. When I first heard this album, I was like, man, John Paul Jones still can fucking get it, and Dave's Dave. Dave can do anything. Phenomenal musician. Let's see. Some of the standout tracks for me was Elephants, Scumbag Blues, Interlude with Ludes, Warsaw or The First Breath You Take After You Give Up, um, Gunman, and Spinning in Daffodils. Really, there's only a few songs that I possibly skip, and that's probably the first two. And then maybe I'd skip Reptiles, maybe. Um, I'm really excited I know that they're talking about doing a new album. Um, once kind of the dust settles on some other stuff that each of them got going on. Um, I really enjoyed this album. Uh, I would give it an 8. So it's not much higher than you. It's not something I'm going to go to every day. But it's definitely something I want to check out more of. And when I did hear it, I'm like, oh man, I really love this groove. A lot of groove in this. I love those changes those abrupt changes. Um, I really liked a lot of those, especially there in Elephant. Elephant was a real good standout track for me too. So yeah, from my perspective, I give it an 8. And yeah,
It almost got a 7. After listening to the first half yesterday, I
mm-hmm.
was really riding hard a 7, but then I took in a little bit more of the album and was like, it's not a bad album. It's just not for me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I was originally going to give it like a 6.5 or 7. And when I first turned it back on, I was like, oh shit. Am I misremembering this thing wrong?
You were probably thinking Tony's going to shit all over this
Yeah,
thing.
I was like, oh man, I was kind of disappointed. And I was like, well, wait a minute. And then I just gave it a little more time, like, okay, there it is. There's that groove. So
Yeah.
I'm glad to see I wasn't totally retarded. So good deal. Now,
Good deal. Now,
we get to move on what you gave me.
what I gave you,
Mm-hmm.
let's hear it.
All right. You gave me the supergroup actually called Mount Westmore, and it is comprised of E40, Too Short, Snoop Dogg, and Ice Cube. That's rap for all you kids out there who may not be familiar with these guys. To be fair, I was not familiar with E40 at all. I'd never heard of him before.
Okay.
So,
he's got good flow.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. This thing was released on December 9th, 2022. And I would say right off the rip, the MVP of this album is actually E40. I was pleasantly surprised with his flow. Okay. His flow on this album, on his contributions, he's got a very distinct style.
Yeah.
Where I'm like,
every
okay.
one of them do. Every one of them do.
Oh no, for sure. No, I mean Snoop is completely different than Cube, vice versa. But E40's flow is super, super unique. I
Okay.
really dug that. This is a banger of a fucking album.
Dude, I told you, dude.
This, I
I
mean, this is a great blend of old school meets new cool.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of everything, and I'm telling you, if you don't, I sent this album to three or four different other friends that I got. Yes, I got more than two friends, um, and they all come back with saying the same thing. God damn, that's good.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
dude.
really good.
Dude, I told you. I fucking told you,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah,
Like track for track. Like
yeah.
it's just banger after fucking banger. Like I want to know who produced this motherfucker. Like, because
Uh,
whoever that person is, a fucking damn genius.
oh, for
Do
sure.
do it again. Do it fucking again.
I'm trying to see who's the producer real quick.
I gotta buy
Um,
the album.
yeah,
I gotta buy the album, and I'm doing that payday.
yeah. I don't know who actually produced it. It could have been Cube or it could have been fucking Drake. I know Dre made a
Could
little
have been
quick.
Snoop, dude. Snoop now has Death Row.
Does he really?
Snoop fucking acquired Death Row, dude. Got
Sweet.
all his masters and everything, dude. He is Death Row.
Okay. Very cool. Um, I, again, there is not really a skip on this fucking album. Not really a skip. There's some. I mean, obviously, there's better songs on here than others. But man, they're all short enough. Even the kind of the weaker ones, I would say some of the weaker ones might be um, Mash, uh, Lace You Up. Those are kind of some of the weaker ones. Um, but fuck, you got things like Activated, Have a Nice Day. My favorite song on here is Ghetto Gutter. Ghetto
Nice.
Gutter was what it was like living on the fucking west side.
Nice.
That's what we lived.
Dude,
That's what we lived.
dude, I told you, man, this album is off the
Yeah.
chain good, dude. It is the best hip hop album I have heard front to back in decades.
Yeah, I would agree. I would say this album for me ranks right up there with Murder Was the Case soundtrack
Yeah.
for
Just a
me.
banger. Just a
Yeah.
fucking
And that
banger,
came
dude.
out in what? Fucking 97?
Dude,
96,
I
97.
would rate this album as good as any album that these guys ever did solo.
Yep. 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 I will say that actually, out of the four, Too Short was my least favorite.
What?
Yeah.
Short
He,
Dog knows how to. Oh man, that's the man.
yeah, I don't know. Some of his shtick, it was kind of like, all right,
I get it. Some of his flow seems lazy.
yeah,
Now I
and
get
it's
it, dude.
how
But
many
that's
times
his.
you got to say bitch? Okay,
Yeah.
dude. Like it just seemed some of his stuff seemed just a little forced.
Yeah.
But fuck, Snoop, I mean, fuck, phenomenal, phenomenal. Big Subwoofer. Let's see, that was a single, and something else was too. I don't remember. Anyway, Big Subwoofer, Too Big. I got Pull. Fantastic
I
album
got
or
pools.
fantastic songs.
I got pools a banger, dude.
Yeah. On Camera. That was great. That was great. So
Dude, I told you, man. I was not putting some bullshit on you last week, dude. I said,
yeah.
like I've been telling everybody, my niece was online and put out one of those things on Facebook, you know, hey, I'm working out at the gym. I need some new music to listen to. I messaged her, said, I need to know what you like musically. I will suggest something to you. Just hit me up. And I knew she was into hip hop and shit too. So I
Yeah.
was like, here's the deal. You need to check this album out. 2 days later, I get the message. Thank you, to my uncle Tony or cousin Tony, because that's how my family has always talked about each other. But like for putting me onto this album, it is a banger. Like, dude, that's all.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you can say. It's an absolute fucking fire ass fucking banger, man.
Yep. Yeah. And again, it's got everything for The old school fans, it's got enough stuff for the new school fans. Um, they really showed the boys how the big dogs do it. Period.
They're real MCs. There's no real MCs anymore.
Yeah.
They're very far and few between.
Yep.
These guys are real MCs.
Yep. So for me, I'm going to give this thing a solid 9.5, 9.5.
I figured that's probably where you'd have it at.
Yeah.
It's
not a perfect album, but man, it's a fantastic
damn
album.
close.
It's damn close.
Close.
It's damn close.
It's damn close. There's nothing wrong with this album. Let's see them do
Not
part
really.
2.
Yeah, no, for sure. I would definitely like to hear more stuff from them. Um, it, it's not something I'm going to go to every day, but man, when it comes on, I'm going to be checking out some more E40 because,
dude, I'm going to be honest.
I was really impressed with his stuff.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to buy the album because I want to listen to it more. I want to have access to it more.
I've been trying to find it.
It's on Amazon.
Yeah,
you could buy it on Amazon digitally, or order it probably. But I'm telling you right now, dude, I'm definitely buying it. Like it's on my to-do list. I need to add that onto my rap and hip hop USB stick that I keep in the car.
Yeah.
It's a fucking, and I'm not in disagreement with you. It's a 9.5 for me as well.
Yeah.
I would not disagree with that rating. And is it a perfect album? Not quite, but damn, man, it is fucking close, dude.
I mean, especially some of this other shit. I was listening to some Megan the Stallion earlier this week. It's like, yeah, man, this other shit's better.
Yeah.
I mean, she's good, but this shit's just a different level. Different level.
You're talking about masters of their art.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
9.5 on both of that from us, and we were roughly about the same on the other one. I think it's pretty funny. We're kind of grooving in the same area now. Mm-hmm.
We'll see what next week brings.
Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna see what next week brings. I'm about to lay some shit on you. And either you're gonna absolutely love this album or you're gonna fucking hate it. So I'll go ahead and give you my album first.
Okay.
Next week you need to write this down.
Oh boy.
And it is available on the tube. I own this album, and it's probably the only album I own from the band because I need to get more at some point. But Saint Vitus.
Okay.
The album name is Born Too Late. TOO. Late.
Okay. And you. Okay, what genre of music is this?
Well, what's my favorite?
Ugh.
You're welcome. Hey, listen. Wow. I think you're going to dig this one. I really hope that you dig this one because the vocals ain't dirty. They're not really or anything like that.
Yeah.
Wino is a hell of a vocalist, and dude, it's this album's groovy, man. It's really, you can really tell the Sabbath influence.
Okay.
So,
well, and now for something completely different.
Here we go.
Yeah, I am giving you the latest and probably final studio release of the great Jimmy Buffett, just released just a couple weeks ago. Equal Strain on All Parts.
Jimmy Buffett, Equal Strain on All Parts.
Yes, sir.
And this was his last studio album?
Yep, it was released just a few days after he passed.
And this is available on the tube?
It should be.
It better be.
No.
I actually like Jimmy Buffett, so I ain't got no problem with this. And I'd like to think, so you didn't go to Wedgwood.
I did not.
So you don't know Mr. Manarino. You may have heard stories about Mr. Manarino, but Mr. Manarino was I want to say he was a history teacher maybe. But anyways, he would keep a radio in the room with a cassette player in it, and he would play Jimmy Buffett through class, which was a lot of fun. That's cool. I got introduced to Jimmy Buffett early on.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, all right, man. With that being
Yeah.
said, it sounds like we're gonna get ready to wrap this up. Once again, if you like what you see here, please like, comment, and subscribe. We want to hear from you. Um, Bruce, anything else you
Oh,
want to say?
again, thanks everyone for continuing to tune in. I know we got, I think, 10 more followers on Facebook. Not real sure on Spotify or YouTube, but thank you. Thank you, new listeners and new followers, and just share this, please. Um, and give us some feedback. Let us know if you've heard either of these albums or what you think of Snoop or Cube or E40. If anyone knows anything about E40, send me some suggestions on what the hell
Yeah,
to listen to, because I got nothing.
yeah. I don't know, man. Usually what I look up is, what was their best album or what was their
Mhm.
biggest release or something like that when
Yeah.
I'm trying to do a deep dive. And then I try to find out when the first album was, see where they peaked at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I usually like to start at the beginning. Sometimes I start where they peaked at and then go back and then come forward. So
I
yeah,
like it.
it works for me. Once
Yeah.
again, we are hooked on Sonics. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate each and every one of you, all two of you listeners out there. And we will see you guys next week. Bruce, I'm out of here, man.
See you.
See ya.